On today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a neighborhood tour of River Ranch in Van Alstyne, Texas. This community features builders like Windsor Homes, Stone Hollow Homes, and Pacesetter Homes, with lot sizes ranging from 50 to 70 feet. We'll be driving around the neighborhood so you can get a real feel for what this area looks like. I'll be covering price points, floor plans, and even some quick move-in options that are currently available. I'll also go over what amenities you can expect, the exact location of the neighborhood, and what's planned for the future growth in this area. If you've ever been wondering whether River Ranch is a good fit for your next home, make sure to watch until the end of this video. So that makes sense. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video today. You join me over here at River Ranch in Van Alstyne, Texas. This is a new construction neighborhood getting built over here in Grayson County. We're gonna be driving through this one today, showing you guys the curb appeal, talking about the three builders in here, which ones I like, which ones I don't like, talk about the prices, give you some insight on the future growth of this area, where this area is around, and if this neighborhood is gonna be a good fit for you and your family. So let's get on this driving tour, show you guys Pacesetter Homes, Windsor Homes, and Stone Hollow. They just really started in this neighborhood, I would say like 8 months ago, maybe like 10 months ago. So there are some quick move-ins available, but driving through this neighborhood, you're only gonna see a few elevations and kind of the curb appeal of these homes. So hopefully within the next year or so, this neighborhood is a little bit more built out. Maybe I can come out to this neighborhood again if you guys do have more interest in here. Now for these builders, they're not like my top favorite builders out of all the other builders building in, can I say the word building one more time? Building in North Texas, but they are at a decent price point in here. If you're trying to stay below 500K, if you want a good size home, 3,000 square feet, this could be the neighborhood for you. Within this neighborhood, the tax rate is gonna be 2.22%. That's gonna be for Grayson County Junior College, Van Alstyne ISD, and the city of Van Alstyne. You're gonna see some other HOAs and some other neighborhoods be like $850 annually, $1,000 annually, $1,600 annually. Really depends on how big the neighborhood is, but this one is one of the cheaper HOAs. Now, not the cheapest HOA. If you really do look at all the neighborhoods, pre-owned homes and older houses, yes, there will be some neighborhoods without an HOA. But when it comes to the new construction side of things, in general, in North Texas, a $600 per year HOA, it doesn't really get much better than that. I've seen maybe cheaper than that at $550 annually, like over in Sutton Fields. So the HOA in here, not bad. Tax rate, though, is going to be, of course, a little bit more expensive than what you see in some other areas of North Texas when it comes to new construction. The builders in here, like I was mentioning, you've got Pacesetter Homes. They're building 50, 60, and 70-foot lots. Windsor Homes, which is also doing 50, 60, and 70-foot lots. And then there is Stone Hollow Homes. For Pacesetter in here, you're going to have 14 floor plans you can pick from. There is the Prosper plan, which is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,603 square feet, starting at $368,000. Then there is the Arlington plan, 4-bed, 3-bath, 3,074 square feet, starting at $483,000. And here is the plat map. Blue circle is going to be the inventory. Dark blue is going to be the 50-foot lots. Light blue is going to be the 60-foot lots. And green is going to be the 70-foot lots. Quick move-ins on their website right now range from $424,000 up to $524,000. For Windsor Homes, they have the Grapevine plan. That is going to be a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,624 square feet, starting at $418,000. And then there is the McKinney plan, 4-bed, 3-bath, 3,382 square feet, starting at $551,000. Here is the plat map for Windsor Homes. The green dot is going to be available. The red is going to be sold. The peach color is going to be the 50-foot lots. Yellow is going to be the 60-foot lots. And purple is going to be the 70-foot lots. Quick move-in prices on their website range from $549,000 up to $650,000. And for Stone Hollow Homes in here, they have the Ashler plan, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,861 square feet, starting at $445,000. And then there is the Trinity plan, 4-bed, 3.5-bath, 3,825 square feet, starting at $610,000. Here's the plat map for them. Yellow is going to be available. Red is going to be sold. Blue is going to be under construction. And their quick move-in prices are right now ranging from $455,000 to $470,000. And that's just because some of their floor plans right now they have as quick move-ins are a lot smaller, but they do have some of those starting plans at $610,000. Now, would I pay a starting price on a Stone Hollow home at $610,000 in a neighborhood like this in Van Alstyne? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if I do that. I do like the other builders. I would say if I would, between the other builders, I would really just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo between Pacesetter Homes and Windsor Homes. You walk into all these, they're going to feel relatively the same. They're going to have relatively the same price points and how they're laid out in their elevation and curb appeal. I do like Pacesetter Homes. I walked into some of their model homes. They have been decent.
But out of all these three builders, they don't really make me super excited, but the price points in here do kind of reflect that. You have prices in here starting at like $368,000 for a 50-foot lot. So a little bit on the cheaper side, but also we are in Van Alstyne. We're more north, so that's also going to be reflected too. For homes for sale in here, on the low end, the cheapest home right now is a 2025 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,345 square feet, priced at $424,000 on 0.138 acres of land. And then the most expensive home in here is a 2025 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,618 square feet, priced at $650,000 on 0.223 acres of land. For this neighborhood right now, how the market is, I would be, if you're buying in this neighborhood, I can justify being under 600K. I cannot justify, maybe in 3 to 4 years from now, I can justify it more, but I cannot justify being over $600,000 in a neighborhood like this. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me, but maybe it makes sense for you. Lot sizes in here will range from 6,000 to 7,200 square feet. And anything over 7,200 square feet on that lot size is going to be considered more of an oversized lot, but I didn't really see any that were over 7,200 square feet from what was being sold on the MLS. And these lot sizes, they're going to be like, let's just say the average for those 60-foot lots, they're going to be like a 60 by 120. So you would be able to fit a pool in the backyard, but just a pool. Once you build that pool, you're going to kind of lose the value of the rest of your backyard. School zoning in here, it is zoned for Van Alstyne ISD. It's going to be for Sanford Elementary, Van Alstyne Middle School, Van Alstyne Junior High School, and Van Alstyne High School. Commute times out of here, down to Dallas is going to be an hour away. DFW Airport is going to be 15 minutes away. Frisco is going to be 40 minutes away. Fort Worth is going to be an hour, 15 minutes away. The nearest grocery store is going to be 15 minutes away. And the nearest hospital is going to be 26 minutes away. For the pros and cons of this neighborhood, you are close to the schools over on this side. You are also off Waco Street. Waco Street is the same road that will take you down into downtown Van Alstyne. It'll take you down into Anna, Texas. It turns into State Highway 5 and then also takes you into Melissa. So if you don't want to get on a highway and you want to get down to these other cities that have more of the commercial restaurants and things like that, you do not have to get on 75 highway to be able to drive down into these areas because you're living off Waco Street. So maybe that is a pro for some of you people that don't want to get onto these highways where you got these crazy Texas drivers, right? I am one of those crazy Texas drivers. I'm sorry, I will admit it, but it's not my fault, okay, guys? It is in my DNA. I was born here in Texas. It's how I grew up. Don't blame it on me. I digress. Other things in here, you're going to have, relatively cheaper homes priced in the neighborhood compared to maybe some of the other neighborhoods. But once again, I can't justify being over. I say there are some cheaper options, but still, I see some of these price points over 600K, and I'm like, I don't know about that. So they do have some 70-foot lot options, but those 70-foot lot options don't give me 10,000 square feet. Maybe I could justify being over $600,000 if you're giving me an 11,000 square foot lot with a good curb appeal. There is like a little bit of a walking pond around here. You don't get any other extra amenities within the neighborhood. So once again, I go back to the point of like, okay, if there's no amenities within the neighborhood, then let me build amenities within my backyard. But then again, at 6,000 square feet, you ain't gonna be able to put a whole bunch of amenities on the backyard. And especially if you're doing a one-story home, that one-story home is going to take a bigger footprint and eat more into that backyard. So you're going to lose less and less space. But on the flip side, this neighborhood has no mud and no pits, so that's great, right? But you do have still a higher tax rate over here. Being off Waco Street, right now it's not really developed out, but being off this major road of Waco Street, that's going to be pretty good later on in the future. You're kind of squished between 75 Highway and Waco Street over here. You're not backed up right up to 75 Highway. It probably takes about 10 minutes to get onto 75 Highway from this neighborhood. But over in this area, how much of a major road Waco Street is, I would expect more commercial, more restaurants to be built off this road. Now, it's not going to happen within the next 1 or 2 years, but if you do plan on living this home for the next 10 years, this is going to be kind of a good location because you're right around the schools, and I do believe a lot more businesses are going to start popping up along Waco Street, which this neighborhood is right next to. Cons of this neighborhood, like I was saying, no amenities within the neighborhood. You're far away from a grocery store and hospital. That's going to kind of be the theme with these neighborhoods and new construction over here in Van Alstyne, Texas. I really don't expect major grocery stores and hospitals to get built over here in definitely a hospital system. You won't see that for a long time. I could see a grocery store like a Walmart or maybe an H-E-B getting built up in the middle of like Sherman, Texas in this area. The nearest H-E-B is in Melissa, Texas, and then the nearest Costco is in, does Sherman have a Costco? I don't think Sherman has a Costco. I might be wrong on that, but the next closest one would be in McKinney. So once again, the grocery stores, things like that, it is just a more rural feel around here, but you are buying in a cheaper price point, and that's, you know, those are some of the reasons. And the builders in here aren't really anything special in my opinion, which once again, I don't want to put that as a con because I think these builders are fine, but it depends on how much you're spending on the house and what type of deal you're getting. And then the infrastructure in this area, the roads around here, it's still gonna be some like one lane, kind of feel like a farm to market road. You're not gonna have lights on the road. You're not gonna have curbs. You're gonna be stuck at lights on one lane to turn right or left. So there is a little bit, you know, of those growing pains that you're gonna find within Van Alstyne. And it's probably only gonna get worse. Like as they add more people to these areas, these roads are only gonna get worse with traffic. So hopefully they start expanding some roads here and there. But in some parts of the area of Van Alstyne, they are doing it to an extent. It's just not everywhere. So you will find like more damaged roads, more potholes, things like that. And it probably will only get worse until it really gets better around here. I think they just need to move in a whole bunch more people, and then they can kind of afford to start building out these roads and making them bigger. Of course, with every city, the roads and those things and how they expand it is usually like some of the last things that they want to do, right? And then the last thing I'll mention is the curb appeal. It's not like a major con. Curb appeal is going to be okay. I would say they're in the middle. It's definitely going to have a better curb appeal in this neighborhood than like Rolling Ridge or Tinsley Meadows, but is it going to have a better curb appeal than like Thompson Farms and the last neighborhood I just did a video tour over at Lincoln Point? No, it's not in my opinion. And the space in between the homes, not going to be as good. Not going to have a lot of space between you and your neighbor on some of the interior lots. So hopefully the floor plans work for you and the price ranges. There are going to be some decent things about this neighborhood in the terms of location, I think, for future growth around Van Alstyne and being close to the schools around here, making an easier commute time to drop your kids off, and also not being too far away from Van Alstyne. But within the community, not going to get a whole bunch of amenities. There are going to be some walking trails. I did find that the walking trails in this neighborhood were better than Lincoln Point. So once again, it's a compromise somewhere when you're buying into these markets. But if you guys have any other questions about buying in Van Alstyne, you're looking at new construction, or you're thinking about buying over in North Texas, I am a licensed agent, would love to work with you and your family on your home search. Other than that, peace out, y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, contact me. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that,